Welcome to Module 2. In this module, we're going to provide an overview of core infrastructure services that are available on IBM Cloud. We're going to cover topics such as compute, storage, and networking. We're going to begin this module by talking about the various compute options that are available on IBM Cloud. We'll start with your traditional virtual machines and make our way to more advanced topics such as bare metal and power systems. We'll wrap up the lesson with a demonstration of how to configure and access a virtual server on IBM Cloud.
There are 4 types of virtual server offerings on IBM Cloud. The first is the virtual server service. This is your usual virtual machine type service that offers a range of operating system and configurable RAM and processing power to fit your use case. Next is the bare metal service. This service provides you the raw horsepower that you need for processing intensive and disk I/O intensive workloads. Next is the power system service. This service, as its name implies, allows you to spin up power system servers with operating systems such as AIX and IBM I. Lastly, we have the HyperProtect service. This service allows you to run virtual servers on IBM Linux 1. You get access to Z technology without having to purchase any unique hardware. Let's take a deep dive into each one. Virtual servers can be deployed in any IBM data center around the world. This includes regions such as North America East, West, and South, the APAC region, Europe, and South America. There are different types of virtual servers. Public servers are multi-tenant and are billed hourly or monthly. Dedicated servers are like public servers, but they're single-tenant, no noisy neighbors, so a little bit more expensive. Transient servers are the least expensive option, but are deprovisioned as capacity grows. Lastly, we have reserved servers. These are committed to a 1 or 3-year contract. Let's move on to images. You can choose between different images such as CentOS, Debian, Microsoft, Red Hat, and Ubuntu, each with different versions of operating systems for each image. It's worth noting a few more aspects of the different virtual server options. Depending on the profile you select, the virtual machine could have up to 64 vCPU and 512 GB of RAM. You can choose to upgrade to a 1 GB per second network connection, and you can even include 5 SAN volumes and 2 GPUs that are based on NVIDIA Tesla P100s. Let's talk about the bare metal service. Bare metal servers, like the virtual server counterpart, can be provisioned in any IBM data center around the world. The service has multiple billing options, ranging from hourly, monthly, to a 1-year and 3-year contract depending on the bare metal service you select. The images are where things start to change. Much like the virtual server option, you can choose the images that are on there, or you can choose more bare metal specific images like VMware, Citrix, or Cloud Linux. You can even include no operating system. It's worth noting a few other things about the bare metal service. We offer both VMware and SAP certified bare metal servers. You can customize your server greatly. You can go from 4 core to 72 core. You can go up to 6 terabytes of RAM and up to 36 drives. Lastly, there's GPU support, which is again based off the NVIDIA Tesla P100 cards. Let's look at the power system server. They're used to deliver flexible compute capacity for power system workloads. They can be deployed to specific data centers in Frankfurt, London, Toronto, Washington, and Dallas. You can choose between the E880 and S922 machines. And you can choose from various AIX and IBM I images, or bring your own. Up next, we have the HyperProtect servers. These can be deployed to specific data centers in Dallas, Frankfurt, Sydney, and Washington. A few other things to note about the HyperProtect server. It allows you to create and run virtual servers on IBM Linux 1, the industry's most secure Linux-based platform. They offer added security as the server is deployed in a secure service container. They are easy to configure and deploy as any other virtual machine, and there are no Z skills or hardware required. Let's go ahead and compare these virtual server offerings. Unsurprisingly, the virtual server option is the cheapest. In terms of performance, the power systems and bare metal had the most to offer. And in terms of security, it's hard to beat the Linux 1 offering. Up next, we're going to go ahead and configure, create, and connect to a virtual server instance. From the IBM Cloud catalog, we can see the different options we can choose from: virtual servers, bare metal, HyperProtect, and power systems. Let's go ahead and click the virtual server option. You can see the first option at the top is to pick the type of virtual server we're going to be using. Let's stick with public. Let's go ahead and give it a name. We'll choose Steve Moore and a host name. The next option is to pick where our virtual server will be located. Since I'm based out of Toronto, we'll go ahead and click North America East and choose the Toronto data center. You can see the different profiles that are available for virtual servers. We're just going to go ahead and choose a balanced option. I already have my SSH key added to my account, so I'm going to find it by looking up the key stevemar-key. For the image, I'm going to go ahead and pick a Ubuntu 18.04 minimal LTS instance. I'll be sticking with the default storage and network options this time around. Let's go ahead and click Create. After a few minutes, our virtual server will be spun up. Let's click on the link to see some details about the server. On the top right, we have an action button that lists all the different kind of actions we can take with the virtual server, such as shutdown, reset. And you can see in the middle of the screen the IP address. Let's open up a terminal and try and SSH into our machine. You can see the operating system is indeed a Ubuntu 18.04 LTS system. Let's go ahead and issue a df-h command to see the volume that is added on our system. Indeed, it is 25 gigabytes. Let's summarize what we've learned in this lesson. There are 4 types of virtual server offerings on IBM Cloud: virtual servers, bare metal, power, and hyperprotect. Virtual machines can be provisioned as public, dedicated, transient, or reserved. And lastly, each offering is very flexible and customizable, whatever you need to meet your use case.